At the recent UFC Fight Night tournament, Ilia Topuria scored another resounding victory by defeating seasoned veteran Josh Emmett. Now the Georgian prospect is demanding a fight for the belt or a contender's fight against Max Holloway. But Topuria still has one unresolved conflict that may be resolved soon. We're talking, of course, about his fight with Movsar Evloev. The fighters said a lot of unnecessary things about each other and promised to resolve all issues in the cage. The two most promising featherweights who never lost, sooner or later must meet face to face. Hello fighters. This is World of MMA. In today's video I will give a prediction of a potential fight between Ilia Topuria and Movsar Evloev. But before I start, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like it, so you won't miss my next videos. Here we go! Movsar Evloev came to the UFC in 2019 as the Russian M1 League champion. To date, he has fought 7 fights in the Dana White promotion and scored 7 wins, taking all 7 fights to the judge's decision. Movsar has a base in Greco-Roman wrestling and is a versatile all-rounder with no obvious weaknesses. He has beaten such tough fighters as Dan Ige, Nick Lenz and Hakeem Dawodu on his way. In May 2023, Evloev agreed to come out on short notice against another promising prospect, Bryce Mitchell. However, the American withdrew due to injury at the last minute and Movsar had to fight the league debutant Diego Lopez. The fight turned out to be much closer and tighter than many expected. Evloev missed hard punches in the counter and had to get out of dangerous submissions several times. But in the end he was able to win by unanimous decision of the judges. Today Evloev is among the top 10 featherweights, and does not give up hope to meet in the fight with his main competitor, the conflict with whom has been going on for many years. Ilia Topuria signed with the World's Premier League in 2020. With an 8-0 record, he made his UFC debut against Youssef Salo, coming out on short notice with a convincing decision victory. Less than 2 months later, Topuria returned to the octagon in a fight against Damon Jackson and knocked him out in 2.5 minutes of the first round. The next challenge was the experienced grappler Ryan Hall. Jiu-jitsu did not help the American avoid an early defeat. Ilia scored his opponent a parterre in the first round and added 11 straight wins to his record. At the 2022 tournament in London, Topuria agreed to fight at lightweight against Jai Herbert. Seriously outclassed in size, Ilia missed a lot of heavy punches in the first round and was close to the first loss of his career. But he withstood the onslaught of the Brit, adapted and knocked Herbert out cold. The next opponent for the Georgian prospect was Bryce Mitchell. Topuria was head and shoulders better in the stand-up, crushing the American and finishing the dangerous jitsu with a submission, earning his second straight bonus for the evening's performance. With 5 wins in the UFC, 4 of which were early wins, Topuria earned the right to headline the tournament and fight a top 5 opponent, Josh Emmett. Ilia put on a superb performance, outplaying the seasoned veteran in every aspect. In a very controlled and cold-blooded match, Topuria smashed Emmett in the clinch, proving that he was capable of going 5 rounds. And in the end of the fight, he was able to take Josh down. Almost no one in the UFC has ever done that before. Now Ilia is a full-fledged participant of the title race and is likely to get the right to fight for the belt in the near future. But perhaps before challenging for the title he will be given the opportunity to close the old conflict with Movsar Evloev. The fight between Topuria and Evloev was supposed to take place at UFC 270. But then Movsar withdrew because of a COVID. Ilia called the Russian a rat and said that men do not withdraw from fights. Movsar, in turn, promised to punish the Georgian for a harsh attack in his direction and humiliate him in front of his own fans. 2 undefeated prospects with 17-0 and 14-0 records could face each other in the cage in the very near future. So let's see who comes out of this confrontation with the first loss of his career. We're looking at a fight between 2 talented, versatile fighters with no weaknesses. Both have a Greco-Roman wrestling background, defend well against takedowns and are unlikely to be able to move each other to the canvas. In grappling, it's worth giving a slight edge to Topuria. He uses his jiu-jitsu to attack. That's how he's been able to subdue the very technical jitsu Bryce Mitchell. Evloev already had problems in grappling against Diego Lopez. But he showed that he can defend himself and be patient when he gets caught in the clinch. The Georgian fighter is unlikely to finish Movsar in a parterre. But he will have a slight edge in jiu-jitsu. In the stand-up, both fighters also show a good level and constant progress. Evloev looked very good in his fight with Dan Ige. Topuria did some serious damage and smashed Mitchell and Emmett badly. It's hard to determine who is the more technical fighter, but Ilia clearly has the heavier punching power, and that could be a problem for Movsar. The Russian will have a significant advantage in arm span, almost 10 centimeters. But Topuria has been inferior in riches to all his past opponents, and that hasn't stopped him from beating them in the counter. Both have very strong jaws, both are fast and can work at a high pace for both 15 and 25 minutes. Putting all of the above together, we're likely in for a very close and competitive fight in all aspects, which will be difficult to determine a winner. But I will give a slight edge to Ilia Topuria. He has impressed the public a lot with his recent fights, which cannot be said of Evloev. The Georgian fighter is probably at his best and carries a lot of danger, both in the stand-up and the ground. Movsar will definitely not be an easy target for him. But Ilia will prove to me to be a slight favorite due to his heavier punching and more dangerous jiu-jitsu. Let me know in the comments what you think of the winner of this fight. Bye all!